Welcome to, believe it or not, Oklahoma. We're here in early January, and you may be asking yourself, why is the Destination Whitetail crew out hunting ducks? Well, because we can. In fact, since Tim Anderson of Mossy Oak was along, we pretty much insisted.
The main plan was to whitetail hunt. The forecast the first day we were here was for really nasty weather, snow, sleet, rain, the whole thing. So since that's not typical out here, we figured it'd be a great day for waterfowl.
The Rogers family of Rut and Strut Guide Service have expanded their offerings to include waterfowl, in addition to turkeys, deer, hogs, and predators. So come ready to hunt.
Yeah, we got some beautiful Oklahoma mallards here. Lower end of their migration, you can see their feet are really starting to color up. That tells you that their hormone levels are coming up and they're getting ready for spring already.
Yeah.
So here's more drakes trying to come in.
Yeah.
But a lot of avid waterfowlers probably thought we were crazy when we had that big mob of birds in. We had about 1,000 mallards in here just swapping and circling, and there was 2s and 3s and 10s and 20s.
Going every which way.
Every which way. But we never had a really big group center up on us, and if we would have shot 1 or 2 ducks out of that group, we'd have educated 1,000 of them in one go.
Yeah, and ruin the whole either day, week, or the whole month, depending on how stale the birds are. You don't never want to do that.
Yeah, it was just a really calculated call about sitting back, enjoying watching the birds fly, and hit them in smaller groups when they do come back. And
it's managing. It's managing waterfowl not for the whole season, but every day you got to manage as you go.
Absolutely.
Brad Fenson also brought along the newest offerings from 10 Point for this late season crossbow hunt.
Shh, nobody's supposed to know about this yet, but 10 Point has a new bow out, the Turbo M1. Economical, extremely lightweight. Comes fully set up, ready to hunt. You have your AccuDraw Pro on it. Comes with a cocking handle. I've got my pocket here because we're shooting at the range. Super easy to set up, cock. Of course, they got all the safety features so that you know when your arrow's properly seated and brushes to hold it in. Anti-dry fire, and of course, the new 10 Point scopes and all that technology to go with it.
The thing about this camp for me was we were going to have an opportunity to use crossbows from 10 Point, and they're brand new bows. I mean, I'm not so sure we weren't using prototypes. I'd never really spent much time shooting crossbows. I mean, I've shot a couple, and at 20 and 30 yards, I mean, it's just like shooting tacks.
Dead center, and we're talking dead center. And that's with the Sever broadhead, and these are so easy to sight in with. You put in a second set screw, and what it does is it locks those blades down so that the sharp edges do not go through the target. You take the O-ring off so that it doesn't get damaged. I prefer to pull them out of the target this way. Put it back together, but there's the Sever with the 2 set screws. That is the broadhead. We can actually hunt with this one, and having shot it at the target, we know it's dead on accurate.
When we return, Tim gives the new 10 Point crossbow a road test in the deer blind. This is Destination Whitetail. Destination Whitetail is brought to you by Browning Trail Cameras, by Thompson Center, America's master gunmaker, by Sever Broadheads, straight through it, and by Remington, America's oldest gunmaker. Welcome back to Western Oklahoma, which is situated in oil country. Todd Rogers has worked in the oil fields for decades, but he discovered there's actually gold here in the form of the wildlife.
The main thing we offer is deer, turkey, and predator. We've kind of branched into the waterfowl and starting to get a few pigs now. Been in business for 19 years, started in 2000. Located in southern Roger Mills County, kind of between Elk City and Cheyenne, Oklahoma.
We're here on a late season crossbow hunt, which began with waterfowl. And that offered the crew plenty of camp meat, all prepared by Brad Fenson.
Korean barbecue duck breast. And you score the skin so that it doesn't curl up when you're cooking. Put them skin side down. Here's one that's rare.
One of the kind of the bonus deals with having Brad Fenson in camp is the guy's like a master chef. And you know, I think duck sometimes get a bad rap on eating it. And if you're with Brad Fenson or have the opportunity to be with him, he makes duck taste unbelievable.
Well, we were out duck hunting this morning, harvested some beautiful late season mallards. And what we've been doing is emulsifying the meat with a food processor. And we've got a couple batches here because the processor's small. We've got some rosemary and some chives and some basil in there. If we had fresh herbs, that would be best. Some salt and pepper. We're gonna add an egg and some cream, and we're gonna make some duck bologna. Stick around, you're gonna wanna see how this is done. And what we're gonna do is roll these up tight. Just work it backwards. Pull it tight. You can see how it forms nicely. Bring those ends in. And there it is. There's your duck bologna, ready for poaching. Boiling water, and we'll get it up to a simmer and turn it down and let it go for about 35 minutes. Now this you can actually serve up hot or let them cool down and slice it up for sandwich meat. When it cools, it'll set up a little more, but there they are.
Since the day we got here, we've had about every kind of weather you can have in the wintertime. We've had rain, snow, sleet, a little bit more snow, and then all of a sudden it just turns beautiful, and it's, you know, in the 50s and 60s during the day. Still cold in the mornings, but first day we did a little bit of duck hunting, and it was awesome duck hunting. The ducks love that weather, and we had a great time. We were in the middle of a snowstorm, but it was awesome. And now the last couple days we've been out in the deer woods, sitting in some blinds, hunting with 10-point crossbows, and we've kind of been on an all-day sit here today, so we've got a little bit of time here yet to see what happens tonight. So hang out with us. Could be fun. Another morning in the deer blind, kind of another little change in weather. It's cooler again this morning, wind's blowing, a little bit cloudy. We're in a great spot. We got everything a deer needs right in this area. There's some food plots up above us. We got a pond out in front of us. Lots of thick woods on either side. So, you know, that's just deer hunting. They don't always come running in front of you. So we've had one small buck in, right? We kind of were getting daybreak. He was in here relatively early, and then hung around for a while, and then he took off. So that's really all it's been so far this morning. But you know, we're going to stick around for a little bit yet.
When we return,
we just had a really nice buck come in, mature, big widespread. But he had all of the tines on one side. I think it was his left side were broke off. I think he would have been like a 10 or a 12 point, but he was really nice. He didn't take off real hard, so maybe he'll stop back and we'll get another crack. Otherwise, done deal in Oklahoma.
you're watching Destination Whitetail. We're back in Oklahoma with Rut and Strut Guide Service, where Tim Anderson is waiting out a whitetail in the deer blind.
Had a small buck come in, really not a lot of other deer at all, but had a nice little sit. I mean, we were in a beautiful spot, but we didn't have anything else come in. Our last sit, kind of the same thing. We didn't really have hardly any activity. I mean, I don't think we saw a deer until it was getting down to the end, down to the wire. We had a beautiful buck come in from the back, straight in behind some trees. Couldn't really see him. Then he got out, and he was just a nice mature buck. I think he was 4 or 5 on one side, and then he had just a main beam. Everything was cut off on the other side. Must have been fighting early, but he just wouldn't give us a shot. He was just a little skittish, and so we kind of started wrapping up. We just had a really nice buck come in, mature, big widespread, but he had all of the tines on one side. I think it was his left side were broke off. I think he would have been like a 10 or a 12 point, but he was really nice. He didn't take off real hard, so maybe he'll stop back and we'll get another crack. Otherwise, done deal in Oklahoma. When we're thinking about heading out, and Fred goes, "Tim, here comes one. Oh my gosh, there's 2. Oh my gosh, there's 3. So, I mean, we had 3 bucks come in right before. We probably had another 15 minutes to shoot, but it was, you know, getting down there. They didn't know exactly what to do. I think they were a little skittish, but the middle one of the 3 was one I just kind of liked because he was tall, and I kind of like those, narrow and tall. And so that was kind of the one I was going to shoot, unless this big one gave me the one that was a little bigger than him gave me a shot. And he really didn't. He got kind of skittish and kind of ran out a little further than I liked. So I waited around until that middle one gave me a broadside shot. And then this 10-point crossbow just hammered him. I mean, it was like thump. We had a nice one come in. He got broadside right over here, so it all happened so quick. And I couldn't get a shot at the first one, so the second one was nice and tall, so I took a crack at him. So we'll see what happened here. We're gonna go check it out here in a second. Oh. Yeah, his arrow broke off. I mean, I had a broadside shot at him. We first started tracking him. We found the back half of the arrow, but it was bloody, and I think what happened is it went through his leg here, and then he started running and broke it off. So, you know, the rest of that broadhead and the rest of the arrow are stuck right in here. I'd like to thank all my friends at Mossy Oak, and we always have a great time when we come to Rut and Strut Outfit or Guide Service with Todd and Susan Rogers and their boys.
If anybody's interested in coming out here, we feel like we've got stuff dialed in pretty well, been doing it long enough, and we're going to work as hard as we possibly can to put you on whatever animal you're chasing. We'd just love to have you come out and give us a shot. Love to meet you and take you out hunting.
Great way to end the week. Been gone for a few days, so I mean, I hate leaving, but I'm anxious to get home. So it was just a great week.
Destination Whitetail is brought to you by Decked. Work smarter, play harder. Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry technology. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt. By 10-Point Crossbow Technologies. There is no substitute. Get armed and deadly with Easton FMJ arrows. And by Matthews Archery. This is Deer Tech TV, the best in outdoor technology. Powered by Browning Trail Cameras.
It's deer season. You have these big bucks on camera, but you don't know which way they're coming from and you don't know which way they're going. I have an easy fix for you. Change your trail camera from picture mode to video mode. That way you can see how they're interacting with one another in front of the camera. You can see which way they're going, their travel routes. It's so easy, and all you have to do is flip a switch. What's great about changing it to video mode is you can see the movement patterns and the deer routes. You can see which way the deer are coming in from and which way they're leaving from. Video mode is also great because you can age a deer a lot easier with a video versus just a picture. When you have a picture, they could be a weird angle, looks like they're much bigger or smaller than what they are. With the video, they're moving. You can actually see their body, you can see their horns, you can see everything. With these videos, there's also audio. So you can hear what these deer are doing. You can hear when they're actually eating. You can hear when they're rubbing on a tree. You can hear if they're grunting or snorting. The high resolution videos take videos at 30 frames per second. The ultra resolution takes videos at 60 frames per second. Whether they're 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Figure out what you want to see in these videos and change it accordingly. Changing your camera to video mode can really enhance the knowledge that you know on your deer this season. When you're setting up your trail camera, make sure you know about your camera and where you're going to be putting it. If you're planning on putting your camera on a place where you're expecting there to be a lot of deer traffic, and if you're not going to be back for a while, make sure you have a big enough SD card in it. The last thing you want is to come back and check your camera and realize that after day 4, your whole card is full. When you set up your camera, take a look, see if it has a single shot, multiple shot, rapid fire shot. With our Browning trail camera, if I would be setting this out in a place where I know that there's going to be a lot of deer traffic, I'd keep it at single shot. If you want to really focus on what the deer are doing, switch it up, put it to multiple shot. Make sure that you have an SD card that is big enough that will hold all of these pictures on it. When you're setting up your camera, if you don't know if it's exactly where you want it to be, see if it has a motion test. With that, you set it up, and when you walk by it, a red light will turn on when it senses motion. It's little things like this that can really help you get the pictures that you need. Trigger speed is also huge. If you put your camera in a place where you think that animals are going to be just walking by, it'd be better to have it on a fast trigger speed. If you know that they're going to be eating and browsing for a while, you can have it at a normal trigger speed. Know your camera and know what it has to offer. This can make your life so much easier. 2 words, Mathews Avail. I jumped on board right when this bow came out. I already have 2 bucks harvested with it and I can't wait for the rest of the season. My favorite feature about this bow is that it's made for women. What's great about this bow is that it's not very heavy. It's 3.9 pounds overall, which is great whether you're walking to your deer stand or if you're doing a spot and stalk hunt out west. And it's 30 inches axle to axle. The draw lengths range from 22 to 28 inches, and if you pull 40 pounds, 50 pounds, or 60 pounds, this bow is for you. It delivers speed up to 320 feet per second. Being a woman in the industry, it's really hard to find a bow that fits me, but if you want to order yours today, go to MathewsInc.com.
You know, I've been to Rut and Strut Guide Service many times. I quite enjoy Todd and Susan Rogers. Todd's a real character. We've spent lots of time together. We actually flew out on January 2nd, so it's a late archery hunt that you can do here. And we were shooting the new 10-point crossbows. All right, 10 points got you covered no matter what type of crossbow you want to use. If you have the conventional draw, you know, limbs forward, they've got the new Turbo M1 shooting a pretty amazing 380 feet per second. This bow is really lightweight, compact, easy to use. And then there's like the Dirty Harry of crossbows. The Nitro XRT shooting 470 feet per second. Yes, you heard me right, 470 feet per second. Reverse draw technology. So again, you get into tight spaces, it's nice and blinds because the limbs come back towards you instead of going forward. There's the 2 options. I mean, whether you like conventional draw or reverse draw, they're both extremely fast. They come set up, ready to hunt with everything you need except your broadheads. So that's the only decision you have to make. Maybe not. You got to decide which draw you like first and how much speed. Got to him so fast and the bow was so quiet, the deer didn't react a bit, and it was dead quiet. I mean, the deer didn't jump the string. He never reacted until the arrow hit him. There is a beautiful Oklahoma whitetail. Man, we shot 2 beautiful deer. We actually got out and did some predator hunting and shot some coyotes. I shot a turkey with the crossbow, and it's always a special week when we can come here and hunt.